Here we go. Real YouTubers need a haircut. My situation worsens every day. Stupid mouse, I'm not as fast. That's my old mouse where I was faster. Hello, it's your boy, Justin Bieber, aka Coconut Head from the popular show Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. Here's the deal. I need a haircut. It doesn't look as bad as it feels, and not as bad as it looks in real life. I can't explain this to you. All I can tell you is that things are going to be very bad for me. Anyway, we are 6 days away from the DLC releasing, okay? And we have some information. And so I thought it could be cool kind of just before, kind of the floodgates open and we get everything, just to talk about the Pokemon that we know for sure are returning. Now, it's very likely, I would bet $1 on it, if anyone would like to bet. I will not take your bet, I'm sorry. That there's going to be more Pokemon than just the ones they've revealed already. However, I thought it could be interesting to talk about the Pokemon that are revealed officially, that have been shown in the trailer, and just talk about those Pokemon, and yeah, kind of see what we're working with. So I went to Cerebi, here's the full list. I decided not to talk about Urshifu or the Gigantamax forms of these Pokemon because I don't know anything about Urshifu, so it seems unfair to rank it. We know what Venusaur and Blastoise do, but those we could rank, but since we don't know the exact base power increases on the other three starters, and we again don't know anything about Urshifu, I didn't think it made a ton of sense to rank it, so I decided to focus only on the returning Pokemon. Now, of course, there is the fact that, things can change. For example, I've heard rumors that Kingdra now gets Hurricane. I don't know if that's true. Kingdra getting Hurricane or not getting Hurricane would be a very big deal. It would allow Kingdra to handle Grass-type Pokemon, commonly a counter, and would allow it to use Max Airstream, presumably, and so... and it's 100% accurate, and Rain is a great attack. So, for example, I'm just going to go assuming these Pokemon have their old movesets, so it's not going to be exact. This is kind of just a general... Think of this more as a calibration, right? The DLC comes out in 6 days. I can give you, if you'll stick around, if you're willing to wait, good things come to those who wait, but I don't know if good things come to those who watch my videos. That's a question for you, not for me. But I can tell you more information soon, right? We can give a more in-depth analysis once we know the full movesets. We'll probably go over the big moveset changes of the new Pokemon that are added, things like that. Once we have the full Pokemon list that are adding, we can go over that as well. But for now, I kind of just want to get people calibrated, get started thinking about, what's going to be good, what's going to be bad. Likely, of course. Until you play with something, you can't really know. But yeah, it's not that many Pokemon that are returning. Also, I'm only covering the final forms of these Pokemon. Sorry, formies. So you can see that even though the Cerebi list is a bit longer, this list is a good bit shorter. So yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and start. I think the way that I want to rank these Pokemon is relative to each other. Because I think that if I rank them based on how I think they're going to fit into the metagame, I don't think I'd put anything in the S tier. So I think it probably makes more sense to rank them relative to each other, especially because, we don't know how they're going to fit into a metagame. So, yeah. With all that being said, let's get started. The first Pokemon is Azumarill. Azumarill is going to be high tier. I think relative to the rest of the Pokemon on this list, it's probably S tier. If I was ranking it, if we add an Azumarill into just the current metagame, it'd be A or B tier, I think. But relative to these Pokemon, it's probably S tier. The way that Azumarill works, basically, is that it has a couple sets it can run. It's somewhat versatile. The main set you're going to see is probably Belly Drum with Citrus Berry. The strength of Azumarill is that it has the huge power ability, doubling its attack stat, making it actually really powerful. And it has a priority move in Aqua Jet. So when you combine these two factors, it's actually very interesting and allows Azumarill to be a very scary sweeper. It's weak to spread moves, which we do have a good bit of in the current format. Anything it can't OHKO with Aqua Jet likely will be able to outspeed and do some big damage, and unless you get a Belly Drum off without taking any damage, your Dynamax is going to be less effective, because if you're at half health, your Dynamax is half as effective as if you're at full health. So it's not an amazing mon for the Belly Drum set, but it's still very good and very, very threatening. It also doesn't have to run Belly Drum. Assaultless Azumarill has seen some success over the years. Choice Band Azumarill has been run. You could also even run it on a Perish Trap team and actually get Sap Sipper, so for people expecting more of a offensive Azumarill, you can use Sap Sipper with Perish Song and Soak and Whirlpool and stuff like that. Actually, I don't know if it gets Whirlpool, but normally you run Protect, Perish Song, Soak, and one more. So you have that option as well. It's overall a great Pokemon, in my opinion. Next up, we have Blissey. So Blissey, I'm sorry, singles players, this is where you're going to start to get angry. I think Blissey is probably a C tier Pokemon. It's not Garbo. It's worse than... I think it's a D tier. It could be a C tier. Blissey as a win condition is the thing. The way that you have to play Blissey is you have to take out all of the opponent's Pokemon. I think it might be D tier. The way that Blissey works is basically, as most singles players know, it has phenomenal special bulk. Well, it has phenomenal HP, which combined with its special bulk makes it extremely difficult for special attackers to remove, especially in a format where people aren't really running Toxic. However, in VGC, because you have two Pokemon on the field at the same time, it doesn't serve the same role as in singles where it can, just sit in the field and be super bulky, and like you can always switch it in safely on special attackers or attackers without physical attacks. It's not the same in VGC. It's a 4 versus 4 and two are on the field at the same time. It has Top Cut Nationals before, I know, because I knocked it out in 2012. It's not the worst Pokemon, and like I think it's also used in 2010 as well, but overall, it's a pretty gimmicky Pokemon. I wouldn't really want to use it personally. Chansey still has some play in VGC as well. It's something worth noting, though the timer was different back then, and I don't think it would be good now, but yeah, I don't think Blissey's very good. It has All My Friends Are Dead syndrome, AMFAD, which basically means you can ignore it most of the time because it won't be doing offensive pressure, and if you ignore it, you can just KO all the other Pokemon first and then deal with Blissey, and because it minimizes is now nerfed due to the fact that Dynamax moves ignore evasion, and a 2 out of 3 set I wouldn't expect Blissey to do especially well. Next up we have Bouffalant. I'm going to put Bouffalant in the C tier. It's not a great Pokemon by any means. However, it has some things going for it. If we take a look at it here, I can just show you a little bit of what Bouffalant, like its stats aren't terrible. It has Sap Sipper, it has Reckless, which means it has and it has Head Smash as well, or Head Charge, excuse me, it's a very powerful move with Head Smash. Stats are not terrible, like the low base speed isn't amazing, but the HP is pretty good, the attack is good, the defense, special defense are good. It's not a terrible Pokemon. No, there's really, like, the truth is that there's not really a great reason to use Bouffalant. However, if you were going to use it, like, it could do, I think it's always been underestimated, I think it always could be good. Decent move pool, gets Wild Charge as well. Yeah, I think it's overall not a terrible Pokemon. I don't expect it to like get a lot of play. However, I think it's not awful. Chansey's the next up. I'm going to put Chansey a tier higher. Chansey was used in 2017 and sometimes 2018 as well. Basically, it was a gimmicky strategy that effectively involved setting up an unkillable Chansey. You'd use Minimize and Defense Curl, actually, in addition to Power Split Shuckle or Carbink. Guard Split Shuckle and Carbink, to basically make Chansey unkillable and then win a 1 versus 4 most of the time. Chansey had Seismic Toss and Toxic and Soft Boiled and wait a second. Maybe I don't even know if it had Minimized. I guess maybe some of them didn't have Toxic. But then how did you beat Ghost types? I don't know. Yeah, I mean it's an interesting Pokemon for sure. However, like it's slightly better than Blissey because the bulk is better and like the physical bulk especially is better. So when you combine it with like Intimidate or Reflect, like it's slightly better, but it's not a good Pokemon at all. In my opinion, like it's very gimmicky, and the way you beat it is just to abuse the timer in official tournament matches. So, of course, it can win games. Like I'm not dissing Chansey. Like it's definitely better than Blissey because the bulk is better, especially the physical bulk, like I said. And it can be annoying. And if you there are ways that you could win games with it. For example, if you stalled out the opponent's Dynamax and then focused on Minimize, or maybe you just set up your own, I don't know, like guard splits on it and then made it super tanky and use defense curl and stuff. So it's definitely not awful, but it's not good either. It's not a Pokemon I would want to use personally. Dedenne is next. I don't have anything good to say about Dedenne. It's bad. Yeah, it's like they didn't even try with Dedenne. It is a fairy type. I mean, honestly, it has some creative things it can do. I don't even know what gen it's from. It's electric and fairy. It's too slow. It has Cheek Pouch, so like with Citrus Berry and Cheek Pouch, you can do stuff. It gets Recycle. And singles, I think you can make actually it's faster than I thought. Yeah, it's 101 base speed, which is good, but look at the rest of these stats. You would not use this thing willingly. At least I would not, personally. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't like Dedenne. I don't really have anything to say about it. You'd almost never use it. Next up is Gargoyle. I think I keep left-clicking or right-clicking with the mouse. I don't think Gargoyle is very good, but I will put it a tier higher than Dedenne because at least it has some things going for it. It has adaptability, it has poison, offensive typing, it's a dragon type that's not weak to fairy. It's not great, I'll be honest. It's not good. Yeah, I mean, although it hits relatively hard, its stats are pretty lacking, and we can look at them here. It's almost never used. People use Skrelp at some point, but it was mostly for a meme. Adaptability, Poison Punch, You'd use adaptability pretty much always. Special attack is lower than it needs to be. It's really slow. It has good special bulk. It's kind of like a worse Goodra, in my opinion. Although, I mean, with Dynamax, you could, in theory, if you had you could use a Assault or Life Orb and then use Dynamax to raise your special attack with Max Ooze and have Stab Max Ooze, and then you're actually doing damage. Oh, it gets Acid Armor. I mean, you could maybe, yeah, there's a reason it's C tier, not D tier. It's not awful. You could do stuff with it, but it's certainly not good. Yeah, I wouldn't ever want to use Skrelp. Next up is Druddigon. Now, I personally, any Pokemon that was added in 2011, I'm going to have some bias to, especially if I tried it. Druddigon is one of those. I don't think I can justify putting it in the C tier. Like, we have Dragapult in this format, and there's, like, okay, like, in theory, you could run, like, Gargoyle over Dragapult if you wanted, like, a Trick Room Dragon, maybe you could justify it, but I see almost no reason to ever use Druddigon. I really don't think it's any good at all. It has some cool things going for it. I would use it in singles, but in doubles, no way. Emolga, I kind of feel similarly about. Terrible Pokemon. Very, very, very bad Pokemon. Terrible, awful, no good. Very bad day. I don't have anything to say about Emolga. It's garbage. Executor is a personal favorite of mine. Now, I'm going to try and leave my personal biases out of this as much as I can. Obviously, we all have biases. My bias is towards Executor. I'm going to put Executor in the B tier. I think that's underselling it, if anything. However, when I was thinking about where I was going to put Executor on this list, because I think A tier is actually justified, right? Executor got second at the World Championships. It's a good Pokemon. It has 2 good abilities you can use with it. However, the fact of the matter is that the metagame right now is extremely unfriendly to Executor. It doesn't particularly like facing down against Venusaur. It doesn't like Dragapult. It doesn't like Togekiss. It doesn't like anything that can raise its speed. It doesn't like Torkoal. It doesn't like Tyranitar. It's not very good in the current metagame, so even though it as a Pokemon has a lot going for it, the metagame is so incredibly unfriendly to it due to the typings that are currently being rewarded. And I don't see that changing too much of the DLC, assuming that, you know, it's somewhat similar to the list that we're looking at here. So, yeah, I think Executor is probably B tier. Exploud is next, so I know Exploud gets some use in singles. In doubles, it's never really seen much use. Its main gimmick is that it gets Boom Burst, and it's a normal type, so it's a stab Boom Burst. However, it's not great, truthfully. Like, I mean, you need to, like, it gets Scrappy Boom Burst, which means you can hit Ghost types, but it also means you can hit your partner, so, yeah, I mean, you could Scarf it. It gets good coverage moves, but the stats are so lacking that, yeah, you're really gonna not want to use Exploud if you can avoid it. Next up, we have Golduck. So, I would have always written Golduck off. However, there's a player named Tommy. Really, really nice guy. I can only say good things about him. And he was very infamous in 2017 for using something called Double Duck, which was Pelipper plus Golduck. He's had extremely good success with this combination. He top cut at least 1 international, maybe more. He ran, not the whole season, I think, but for a lot of the season he ran this Double Duck. Or he ran at least Pelipper and Golduck together. There was Politoed. Tommy, why did you run Politoed? I guess Pelipper had Sash Tailwind. It was important, actually. The main idea here was that Golduck would have the Z move on it, and so it would use Max Vortex to just, like, immediately put a lot of pressure on people and threaten Okos, because Max Vortex and Rain was really strong. Hydro Vortex? Z? I don't remember what it's called. Yeah, so, I mean, for that reason, Golduck was pretty widely used. I don't think I could put it in the A tier, personally. Especially, like, that was a format without Kingdra. It was a format without Seismitoad, I think. I don't think I could justify putting Golduck in the A tier, especially in a format like the current one where both Torkoal and Tyranitar are extremely popular. And Pelipper's not very good, so you pretty much have to run Politoed Golduck. But I still think Golduck is viable, and yeah, Tommy kind of made me believe in it forever. Kangaskhan is not super good. I'm going to put it in the C tier. Because there's no Mega Stone, there's no Mega Kangaskhan, and although Kangaskhan has some good support moves, like Fake Out, it might still get Icy Wind, it probably get Sucker Punch. I don't think I could justify putting it on a higher tier. Why would you use Kangaskhan when you could use Incineroar? You know, Kangaskhan's main niche is that it has Scrappy Fake Out, or at least that's what it used to be. And so in, like, formats with lots of Ghost type Pokemon, you can fake out Ghost types, which is good. However, like, after that, what do? Right? You run Helping Hand on Kangaskhan. You'd have to use it purely as a support Pokemon, and, like, I think the utility you get for having Kangaskhan is significantly less than something over, like, the utility you get from something like Incineroar, so I don't think I would recommend it. Kingdra's next. Kingdra's A or S tier. I think I'm going to put it in the A tier. I don't know enough about Kingdra to put it higher. We have other SwiftSwim users this format that are good. Barraskewda, Ludicolo, Seismitoad, even Golduck you could use. Kingdra, you could maybe argue, is S tier. Compared to the other Pokemon on this list, I'm actually, you know what, yeah, I'm actually going to put it in the S tier, I think. Yeah, I mean, it's seen success in years, and not just, unlike Golduck, it's seen success in formats without limited X's. In 2013, it saw a lot of usage. Maybe in 2012 as well. It was very difficult to deal with. There was a popular rain team that used Kingdra. And yeah, like, the thing about Kingdra is just, like, it's good offensive typing. Water and Dragon are both very good types. I had Water in my S tier and Dragon in my A tier, in my tier list typing video. And so, yeah, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like Kingdra is something that it's generally a pretty offensive Pokemon. Muddy Water with Life Orb in the Rain or Choice Specs in the Rain does pretty well. I think it also saw some use. I seem to remember getting some use in, what year was that? It had Talonflame. I don't remember what year. Kingdra definitely has seen use outside of this, outside of just this. Yeah, I mean, it's a good rain sweeper. I wouldn't put it in an S tier in the current format. I'd probably put it in A, but I'd be more likely to put it in a B tier, truthfully, if it was like all the, like if we added these Pokemon into the current format without having seen anything. But it's a good Pokemon compared, especially compared to the other Pokemon on this list, and yeah, I think I could justify putting it in the S tier. It's an offensive rain sweeper that's not Ludicolo, and has, I think, maybe better special attack, but also gets access to moves like Draco Meteor, which are very strong. Next up we have Krookodile. I want to put Krookodile in the S tier, I think. I know we don't have any A tier Pokemon, it's irking me as well. However, I think that Krookodile is one of the best Pokemon on this list. Krookodile's won 2 World Championships in 2011 and 2017. It offers us another Dark type, which is good. It also offers us another Ground type, which is also good. Dark and Ground are pretty good typings, being immune to Electric and Prankster and Psychic when you're combined. Krookodile also has both Intimidate and Moxie and Anger Point, meaning all 3 of its abilities are good and have valid strategies built around them, or Anger Point is a strategy built around it, and the other 2, you can use. It's a very good Dynamax Pokemon, however, it doesn't have to Dynamax. It gets, like, decent coverage moves, although not amazing ones. It gets Taunt. It doesn't really have 4 move slot syndrome, in my opinion. Like, you could run Ground Move, Dark Move, Taunt, Protect, and have a very solid Krookodile. Yeah, so I don't know. I think it's a pretty good Pokemon. I think it's always underrated. I think especially in a Dynamax metagame, you can do some very interesting stuff. So I'm going to put it in the S tier. Luxray, I'm going to put in the D tier. I don't like Luxray. I know it's a super cool design. I know people love Luxray. I'm not trying to trash on you. I'm just saying your Pokemon is bad, you know? Luxray's not good. It needs about 80 more base stats and a Mega Form and a Gigantamax form to be good. Great design. I have nothing against Luxray's design. However, the execution is really bad. And the move pool's trash as well. It's just overall a bad Pokemon. I'm going to put Lycanroc in the A tier. It has 3 different forms, and it's a fast Rock-type Pokemon. It maybe is B tier, honestly, but I want something in the A tier. Now, I think Lycanroc you can justify an A tier. This is all 3 formies. Midday or Dusk or Dawn, one of them is good. It has high base speed, really fast for the current format. Let's actually look it up. It's this one. Midday form? Is that what it is? Wolf Pokemon. Hell yeah. Tough Claws is a good ability. Is it Dusk? Dusk form is the good one. Okay. Yeah, 110 base speed is very good. It's not as... 112. Yeah, 110 is very good. You'll outspeed Durant. You can do it with, like, Fire Fang, for example. The base speed is just nice. That's honestly the main thing. And having another Rock type that's faster is pretty nice. A decent coverage moves, Drill Run, Iron Head. Like, for example, if your team was really weak to Togekiss, you could consider adding a Lycanroc and maybe seeing if you could one-shot it. I don't know the calcs. I'm pretty sure you can one-shot it if you Dynamax. Yeah. So, 117 base attack is very good. Oh, yeah, why did they take 2 speed out? Like, all they did was take 2 out of speed and 2 into attack, and they're like, it's a new Pokemon. That always irked me, because I think at some point the extra speed mattered a lot. Like, being faster than 110 actually mattered. So, yeah, I get Swords Dance. I played one of these at Worlds 18. I beat it, but it was close. Yeah. There's a lot going on here. It gets Excel Rock as well, which is a pretty big deal. Although, I don't know if only one of them gets Excel Rock. Yeah, I think only one of them gets Excel Rock, maybe, which is a bit of a drag. But yeah, priority Rock-type move is also good. I think A tier is pretty fair for this thing, truthfully. Magnezone, I think, is also A tier. Good Pokemon. I used Magnezone in a tournament before. It has Magnet Pull, which is actually really nice. It allows you to trap Pokemon on the field. So, trap Steel-type Pokemon on the field, excuse me. It also has Sturdy, which is a good ability, and Analytic. All 3 of them are good abilities. Another Steel-type is good. I do kind of feel like I would like more Steel-types in this format, because currently it feels like you have Excadrill, or Ferrothorn, or Escavalier, or Durant, right? And I think Steel is such a good typing that like having more Steel-type Pokemon in play is good. Having another Electric type is good. Magnezone is a good Dynamax target if you can get around like the weaknesses, of course, because, you know, Electric powers itself up and Steel boosts the defense. So, yeah, I mean, I like Magnezone as a Pokemon. I think it definitely could be good. I'm not sure it's going to be great in this format, truthfully. Like, it's weak to a lot of the common typings, unfortunately. However, I still like it. Mancho's next. I think Mancho's a B tier Pokemon. Its stats are slightly better than the Pokemon below it. It has Fake Out, it has U-Turn, it has High Jump Kick, it has Reckless, it has Baton Pass. It might still get Knockoff, it's unclear. Not a great Pokemon by any means. You'd pretty much never use this over like Incineroar. Well, you could actually. Like it's slightly. It does different things for sure. It also gets Regenerator. I don't know. I think it's an interesting Pokemon for sure. I don't have that much to say about it, truth be told. Oh, I didn't plug in my computer. Oh no, is my computer gonna die? No, should be fine. Yeah, like Mienshao, I mean, it's fine, right? Like, it's if you were doing like a randomized battle, you got Mienshao, you could definitely make it work. It can be a good support Pokemon. It has like it's more offensive and faster than Incineroar. On the other hand, it's much more frail as well. However, it's a fighting type. You know, it's like if you were like I don't know, if you paired it with something that beat Togekiss, you could in theory pressure Sand teams in like a bit. Like if you had something that beat both Togekiss and Dragapult, maybe. I don't know. I think there's some interesting things you can do with it. I wouldn't just write it off immediately. Politoed, personal favorite Pokemon of mine. This is, out of all these Pokemon, Politoed is going to be affecting the metagame the most. Out of these Pokemon that I'm talking about today, in my opinion, it makes Rain viable. We have only been playing with 2 weather, because Hail is bad, Sun is good and has Torkoal, and Ninetales. People started running Ninetales. Sand is good, it has Tyranitar, and of course, people ran Jigglypuff and Hippowdon, but mostly Tyranitar. So we've basically been playing with 2 weathers, because the final weather is Rain, which has only a Pelipper, which is very bad. Pelipper is very bad. And so adding Politoed completely changes the viability and the dynamic of Rain teams, in my opinion. I think it's a very, very, very good archetype. I'm going to put Chansey and Blissey in the thumbnail. That way people will be mad. But yeah, like it totally changes the dynamic of the archetype and makes it viable, especially with the addition of Kingdra, but primarily Politoed. So yeah, I mean, it's just a bulky range setter, but it can also be offensive. People used to run Water Gem on it. You can run Scarf, you can run Specs, lots of good items for it. You can run Berry, you can run Perish Song, you can run Encore, you can run Helping Hand. I think it gets Ally Switch now. There's a lot of good things you can do with it. I like it a lot. Poliwrath we're going to put in the C tier. It's slightly better than the Pokemon below it. It is a Swift Swim user. It might get better moves now. I heard a rumor it got close combat and such, but not a great Pokemon, in my opinion. It gets Belly Drum, which is cool. There was a team that top cut US Nationals that was like Poly, I think, with Politoed and Poliwrath, but yeah. I'm going to be conservative here. I'm going to put Scizor in the A tier. I'm not confident. Like, I love Scizor. Like, for those of you who don't know, I won 2012 Nationals. My team wasn't great. Scizor carried me exclusively. Like, it was Scizor and 5 filler Pokemon, literally. It was such a powerful Pokemon, so it's always had a special place in my heart because of that. Aaron Zhang won Nationals with effectively the same team and the Scizor as well. Very, very, very strong Pokemon. I really love Scizor, but in recent years it's fallen off a bit. People have always tried using it, but yeah, I don't know. The removal of Steel Gem hurt it a lot. The addition, like Intimidate picking up as well, hurt it a lot, and the stats are a little bit lacking. I mean, it's definitely at least as good as Magnezone, and definitely better than Lycanroc in my opinion. However, yeah, like it's fallen off a lot. So I love Scizor. I would not put it in S tier compared to the rest of these Pokemon. I wouldn't put it in B tier either, though. Yeah. Skarmory's D tier. Singles player is Eat Your Heart Out. Skarm Bliss. Here we go. We're putting it there so that I can use it in the thumbnail. But yeah, like basically, I don't really have that much to say about Skarmory. It's like bad Celesteela. It doesn't have any offensive pressure, and it's very weak on the special side. Although these two are very good in singles and can be used together to form a very good defensive wall, it's not how it works in doubles, and I don't have anything to say. I realize now that I don't think you can get Slowbro in the DLC, so I'm not going to rank him. Because you shouldn't be able to get Cantoni and Slowbro. It was on Cerebi.net. Maybe. I mean, if it's on Cerebi, maybe you can get it. I don't know why it says Slowbro is here. That's the thing, because like you can. It's probably just filler for Galarian Slowbro. I don't know. I don't think you can get regular Slowbro. Starmie's not great. I'm gonna put it in the C tier. There you go, single players. Not an amazing Pokemon in doubles. It's so frail. If it loses speed control, you can one shot it with neutral moves. Coverage is okay. Like you could Dynamax it, of course, but you have better things to be doing with your Dynamax, in my opinion. Talonflame's next. We're going to put it in the A tier. I don't have enough faith in Talonflame to put it in the S tier. I think its main strength is that it gets Prankster Tailwind for the first time. However, it's extremely frail, and the offenses aren't great. It has the same base attack as Amoonguss, I believe. So, yep. And unlike Amoonguss, it actually uses its attack stats. So, yeah, but you can do some interesting things with it. Like maybe Burning Jealousy is good. You can run Support Talonflame, which I ran and then vowed never to use again. With Will-O-Wisp, but Tailwind and such. In a format where Tailwind got significantly buffed, I would definitely say Talonflame is stronger. However, I wouldn't put it in the S tier personally. It has too many flaws. Tangrowth is next. I'm going to put Tangrowth in the... I think it's probably not a B tier Pokemon. I mean, actually, it's probably as good as Mienshao. I'll put it in the B tier. I think that's fine. It's very physically bulky. It has the abilities Chlorophyll and Regenerator, which are good. However, it doesn't really have that much offense, and the terrible special defense like really hurts it significantly and makes it not very viable. There's so many better grass types you could use. You'd pretty much never use this over Venusaur. Yeah, I don't really have anything to say about Tangrowth except that like I don't recommend you use it. Like it's great in singles. If I have another singles draft league, I would probably try and take Tangrowth if I can. However, yeah, like, I don't know. I don't particularly like it right now at all. It's almost never seen VGC play. I feel like Hui or Dwee might have... Oh, no, I think Dwee likes Tangela, maybe? Or Hui likes... One of them likes Tangela. I don't remember. I don't know. I don't like Tangrowth. We're going to put Tauros in the D tier. Don't use Tauros. It's got very little things it can do, in my opinion. How fast is it, actually? Is it 108 or is it 100? I feel like it's 108. I feel like it's kind of fast. It's like relatively fast, I think. Oh, it's 110. I mean, it's fast, but it has a decent attack stat. The bulk is bad. The bulk is okay, actually. The stats aren't that bad, but it's just like... I don't really know why you would use Tauros. I don't recommend use Tauros, personally. Just use Cinderace and use, like, I don't know, Return's not in the game. I don't know, turn your Cinderace into normal type, and then it's better than Tauros. That's my opinion. Volcarona, I think could actually be very good. Although so Volcarona's arc has kind of been like extremely good in 2012. Fallen off a bit since then. Had some use in 2016. Pops up here and there. I brought it to Nationals in 2018. I bombed. Trailer did as well. Sorry, Trailer, about that team. That's my bad. Sees use here and there. At first it was a sweeper with Quiver Dance. It was Top Moth was what it was called. You just hit on top and Volcarona to be like make a very, very, very difficult to take out Volcarona between Intimidate, Fake Out, Quiver Dance, and Wide Guard. Make it a sweeper. I think Dynamax significantly increases Volcarona's viability, in my opinion. Although it also means that Wide Guard is less effective at protecting it, so there's a trade-off there. But yeah, I think Volcarona could be very good, and I haven't really seen people talk about it, but yeah, it has two kind of main sets. You can either go Quiver Dance and be offensive, or you can be Rage Powder support and take advantage of Flame Body. It also gets Hurricane, so now you can use it as a Dynamax Pokemon. It gets Tailwind via Move Tutor. I don't know if it will still get Tailwind, but yeah. Yeah. And then we have Zoroark. So, Zoroark, I want to put in the B tier. I'm going to be honest. I think I will put it in the B tier because out of pure hope, I'm going to put it in the B tier. It's probably a D tier Pokemon because they nerf Zoroark so hard. For those of you who don't know, let's say the way that Zoroark's ability works, which is the only reason to use it in my opinion. The way Zoroark's ability works is that until it takes damage, when you send it out, it will disguise itself as the last Pokemon in your party. So if I have Zoroark at front, and let's say it's single battles, and I have Executor in the back, Zoroark will look like Executor, and your opponent won't know whether or not it's Zoroark or Executor. Merely having Zoroark on your team can put pressure on your opponent to guess whether or not it's actually Zoroark or the Pokemon that it's disguising itself as. However, that's how it's supposed to work. The way it actually works is if you are facing against an opponent who is a Zoroark in their team, and you click the Pokemon, like on the little touchscreen, you hit info on the Pokemon, it will tell you the type of the Pokemon. And it won't tell you the type that Zoroark is disguising itself. So let's say I have Zoroark disguised as Chandelure. One of the best types you can disguise Zoroark as is a Ghost type. If I disguise Zoroark as a Chandelure, and my opponent clicks on it, it won't say Ghost Fire. It will say Dark type. And it will tell you whether or not your fighting type moves are super effective, meaning Illusion doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. It was super like not working at all last generation, and your opponent just knew. It's a purely cosmetic ability. Anyone who knew how Zoroark's ability interacted with the game could check every turn whether or not their opponent was using Zoroark, which is the whole reason to use Zoroark. So simply for that, I would put it in the D tier, but hopefully they fix that and it disguises itself properly when the game comes out. But assuming it doesn't, it's a D tier Pokemon. We're going to give Zoroark the benefit of the doubt and put it in the B tier for now. Anyway, those are all the Pokemon according to Cerebi that are confirmed returning in Isle of Armour. Let me know what you think. Let me know which Pokemon you're most excited for. Please make sure to like the video and subscribe. If enough people like and subscribe, then maybe I'll use the other half of the eye picture in the next video. And I'll see you next time. Peace. I need a haircut.